There we are. I'm going to do a quick reading today. Yes, I just stepped out of the shower. I have not done a reading on this channel for quite a while, and I want to keep the ball moving on this. Get used to adding tags and everything to the videos. This is a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Thank you for my one subscriber. You know who you are if you're watching this. Perhaps this reading is for you, or at a different time. It could be for you. Again, I already pulled 3 cards from I'll call it my basic tarot deck. Um, the ones that have cards that look like this. That's maybe that card is for you. I don't think so. And I put my anime lid on top of it. Like I said, these anime cards, they're really hard for me to use, but I feel like it's important I try to use them a little bit. They have some better imagery on them, so I might ask for clarification on your cards with this. Again, whoever's watching this at this time, whether this video becomes relevant or not, I don't have much of a following right now, so when this video finds you, I hope this found you because this was the advice that you needed at this time. Again, I'm publishing this on 10/10/2022. So, if 10/10 represents something to you, sure does to me. Or, actually, no, it doesn't, but we're finally out of Mercury retrograde now, and it's been a really bad Mercury retrograde. Everybody, especially the other Virgos, especially the late August Virgos, it seems like the September Virgos I know are having an issue. Probably shouldn't have said that, but it's out there now, so I said it. They seem to be good with certain things. My late August Virgos, like me, really had some tough times. But that's what Mercury retrograde is about, the past coming forth again, presenting itself so that you can heal wounds within yourself from the past. I think this can be inner wounds. This can also be wounds with past relationships. And if it's coming out, it's trying to tell you something if you're paying attention to it. Especially if you're a Virgo. I don't know how strongly that correlates to other signs, but I know with Virgos, um, I don't know much about astrology. It's something I'm going to be learning soon. I know Mercury retrograde affects Virgos strongly because I guess Mercury is something called a ruling planet for us. Again, don't know much about astrology. If you know a lot about astrology, and I think you know who you are when I'm talking to you, you can teach me about it. You know who you are. How do you like my bracelet? I got black agate to keep myself grounded because I find myself floating off lately. Anyway, I flipped over a couple cards from your reading. I'm not even gonna. Here they are down here. Blah blah blah. But the Five of Wands came up upright, and again, I'm reading this backwards. This is just a 3-card reading, and the Ten of Cups came in upright. The third card is the Lovers. Okay, I know what this is about now. So I like this Lovers card honestly because I don't even think it's trying to be ambiguous. I just love the fact that it looks like there's 2 men on there, or 2 male figures, and it's not being shy about it. As you can see, the figures are one's black, one's white. I think that's probably representing shadow and light, and the snakes are representing shadow and light. But also maybe the snakes are symbolic of that type of union too. But I just love that it's definitely endorsing. What's the word I'm looking for? Well, same-sex couple. We'll just keep it at that. But it's pretty clear that the figures are almost identical, except for the color, and neither of them really show any feminine features. So there's not really any noticeable breast on either figures, which is typically depicted in a lovers in the lovers card and tarot deck. I'm still hoping that they finally make a tarot deck with some fat people on it for the lovers deck. That would make me very happy, because that needs to be represented too. Just saying, there's an artist out there that wants to have a picture of some fat people making out or some fat dudes making out on it. I will support that deck. Hit me up and I will support the Patreon or whatever it is for that Kickstart. I'm tired of seeing the same stereotypical things in the tarot decks. Not that there's anything wrong with people that are of that body type that are skinny and stuff like that, and probably more physically healthy. But I'm really just tired of only seeing those depictions because, I don't need to explain that. Um, wow. I don't like this reading, but actually, this isn't something that's too strong. But these cards together are kind of signifying, especially if there's a lovers. It's probably an established relationship, maybe not a very committed one, obviously, but there's evidently some type of fulfillment in it. With the Ten of Cups, which is very which is very significant fulfillment. But it looks like there could be with the Five of Wands. That's typically indicative of other things getting in the way, other parties maybe, not third parties like the Three of Cups or the Seven of Cups, but the Five of Wands shows there's like possibly some competition or there's disarrangement. It might not even be other partners or I don't like to say the word infidelity or lack of commitment to something like that or exclusiveness, but something's getting in the way of it. It could even be family members arguing about the fact that you're in a same-sex relationship because it's being depicted on this deck of cards, the same-sex couple. Even if you're two females or two, whatever else you choose to identify on that spectrum, um, it could be two females, two males, if that retains to you. But I'm sensing conflict around this. That's the best way I can read it. But I feel like you're really content in this relationship with this person. But at least for the stage in your life you're in, this person, who knows what that means? I probably should have said that. But the Five of Wands shows other forces getting in the way of this. It could be the world. I'm going to ask for clarification on these cards. I'm going to ask for clarification on the Five of Wands first. So I'm going to use the Anime Tarot deck for that. Show me the cards I need to see. Whoever's channeling this, whoever's seeing this at the time they're seeing it, I feel very strongly this could be family members getting in the way of a relationship because certain family members might not be so happy with this type of romance. I have an uncle who's gay and he's lived, well, in the same, well, I'm not going to say where he lives, but he's been with his partner 16 years. Ironically, they don't live together though. And I thought they did live together, but according to him, that's the key to their success is they have their own personal space. So either way, just thought I'd share that with you. If you're watching, my uncle, if you're watching, all right. Okay. So what I got for clarifying the Five of Wands is the King of Wands. And what did I get here? The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And Temperance in reverse. And Temperance is all about patience, maybe going with the flow of things, letting things. There we go. It's a pretty card. I love the artwork on this. Kind of said I promised to give this away when I get the 10 or 12 subscribers, but might buy another one. Either way, this deck will be given away. But it's in reverse. So trying to get a reading. I feel like someone's stopping blessings from coming in for some reason. This could be you. Something's blocking this Wheel of Fortune from coming in. And whoever this masculine is in the King of Wands is supposed to be a very strong masculine figure. Even if I'm talking about someone in the same sex relationship, it doesn't matter. This is someone who needs to maybe tap into their masculine energy or is just typically more masculine. Again, masculine doesn't necessarily have to deal with male or female, but it is very typical that males tend to harness more masculine energy and females tend to harness more feminine energy. But there's very much outliers, and people aren't usually 100% one or the other. In fact, it's actually really unhealthy to be completely one or completely the other. As I've told you before, if you see me out in the world, I radiate this glowing masculine energy. But when I'm trying to do card readings or I'm trying to listen to people, I try to tap into more of my feminine energy. If you wanted to learn more about that, I recommend doing your own research on it. There's plenty of people on YouTube that will talk about it. Some people probably have their own personal, emotions get in the way of that. However, um, back to your reading, it seems like whoever this masculine is, there's not enough forward moving power. This wands are fire. I don't know why I had that. Maybe it's a energy blast like you see in anime. I'm not going to say which anime that's from, but there's not a lot of maybe there's not enough fire moving forward. But it's in the upright, so this person is here, and perhaps this could be someone blocking this wheel. It may not even be you. Uh, it could be someone blocking this wheel of fortune and things from moving forward in your life. And temperance is in reverse. And all I get from that is that someone doesn't have peace. Maybe not with themselves, maybe not with their relationship. Um, Maybe they're trying to appeal to this King of Wands that is moving forward. Perhaps this King of Wands is someone trying to disrupt this. After all, I did ask for clarification on the Five of Wands, and I did ask what was getting in the way. So this could be a father figure getting in the way of your union with somebody, or just your lifestyle in general. Please clarify the lovers. I'm not really sure why I need it clarified, but I feel like asking. I don't even know. I feel like there's not a problem with this relationship necessarily, but I feel like maybe I should be asking, what's really going on in this relationship, and go from there. So please clarify this. Like I said, I feel like there's a lot of contentment in this relationship, but there's just conflict from outside sources getting in the way of this. Some other figures are stopping this from really taking off and things really turning in your favor, and someone's just really not being patient or accepting with things, or this temperance card, I might need to clarify this. No, I can't do another clarification. But someone's stepping back and mixing potions. Let's see. Let things flow together. That's what I got. Okay. Here's wow. I feel like this is definitely a father figure after that's I feel like this definitely represents a father figure. Wow. Wow. These cards are amazing that came out. Um, the Hanged Man came out again. I don't know if the images in here mean anything to you. And it came out in the upright. The Knight of Wands came out. Very fast moving energy. A masculine, it's funny, there's a feminine on here, but still a masculine card, energy card. And the Lovers came out again. I love it when I get the same card again when I'm clarifying something. Where they have two decks, each have 78 cards. I love it when I get the same card again after when I'm clarifying that card. It just shows that this is something there. In this case, it does show, it's a male and female in here. And it came out in the upright. So there's definitely this love connection. And someone needs to fight. This is your sign to fight for your relationship. I'm not going to channel any more on that. The masculine in this situation needs to step forward and fight for this if they want it. I don't tell people what to do. There are no yes or no answers. I don't know how to do this, but whoever has this masculine energy, whoa, never mind. I thought I saw something else on that horse, but it's just part of the boot. But whoever has this masculine energy possibly needs to move forward with this, whatever they want to do with this relationship, whether it's standing up to the king, more experienced person with their wands. It might be necessary. And it is kind of interesting that the person on this card is a female, even though typically the Knight of Wands is depicted as a male. I like the fact that this is a female riding the horse. The Knight of Wands charges forward with a lot of intensity. It's not a very symbolic of patience. It's moving forward with your fire. This king is probably a little bit more patient with it. It's more mastered. Their emotions is a little more calculating. where the Knight of Wands might not be so naive, but is less experienced, maybe a little less power. It's different to sit on a throne of power, but you always have your horse to ride away on if you want to escape the kingdom. The Hanged Man usually depicts looking, as I like to say, um, sometimes I like to think of it as stagnance, honestly, but seeing things from a different perspective, possibly through pain. I don't know whose perspective you need to look through. Uh, Possibly your father's, or it could be a mother, for all I know. Um, but either way, you have the right just to live your own life. But it's definitely related to this love connection. And I feel so strongly that there's just a conflict between families over this type of union. And that's just what I'm getting. Like I said, my channeling skills are a little bit. I don't even want to say blocked right now due to Mercury retrograde because we're finally out of it today, which is probably why I feel like I have the energy to give a reading. As I said before, I get a shower before I do readings, so my aura is nice and calm and smooth. Um, but I feel like whoever this is, uh, use your wand. You know, don't take that as a sexual metaphor, obviously, but use the fire in you to forge ahead with your future. Try to see. You can try to see things from a different perspective if you want to. Perhaps parents are acting out of fear. People commonly, just can't deal with change that well. I genuinely hope. Um, this is why I like these cards. There's so much better art on them. I genuinely hope this reading has been helpful to you. Um, I don't really know this Ten of Cups. I do and don't want to clarify it with these cards, but let's see here. I'm going to ask that. I'm going to pick three more cards. Get a reading from this. As far as moving forward with this conflict, um, what is the advice of this person listening to this? What is their advice moving forward? I already know. I think I know what cards might come out, but since I said I know, I might not actually get those cards. I'm going to ask for three more cards as far as advice, as far as what outcomes might be. That's too many. I'm sorry. Sometimes Spirit doesn't. This is, again, with these cards, I never feel quite comfortable channeling with them. Spirit doesn't always want to give me the cards. Or at least maybe they're harder for me to reach in this deck, which is why I don't want to continue using it. But I bet by the time I end up giving it away, there'll be plenty of good in it. I'm going to put that out in the upright. Ooh, this Two of Swords. I just see this. I know this is typically. The Page of Pentacles might be time to put some more of your own wealth aside. Learn to manage your own resources, especially if you need to gain some independence from family figures that tend to rule your life with their authority. After all, they're the King of Wands. This might be new to you. Seek some financial advice. Start a savings account. Get your own bank account. You have the right to do that. You can go to a different bank than you're used to banking with, starting your own account. That is your own privacy. Have your money that you work for put into that. I saw the Eight of Swords in reversed, and yes, thank you. Eight of Swords is typically depicted with someone. This is a terrible rendition of the Eight of Swords. But anytime I've ever had readings with the Eight of Swords typically means someone feels that they are disempowered, but it's delusion. And this is what this Page of Pentacles is coming into this with. Because you're learning to manage your own finances and you have a lot more power and rights than you might know, and I'm here to clarify this for you. The Eight of Pentacles usually depicts someone. The one thing I've seen is like it's like someone's being tied up or held hostage in some situation, and there's all these swords around them, but the ropes around them typically aren't that tight, and they're blindfolded. But the thing is, the ropes aren't that tight, and there's all these swords around them that's actually kind of within their reach because their feet really aren't tied, much like an elephant that's was tied to a tree as a child, and then people just put a ball and chain on their foot and they think they're still tied to that tree, so they think they're stuck. You're not stuck. You can pull, as a full grown elephant can pull a tree out of the ground anyway, but that ball and chain is not there. And this is really blocked. The fact that this is in reverse might represent that this has been being held on for too long. You're not realizing your own power, and you actually have the power to cross swords with people, which is why I'm getting with this particular picture because it's so simple. But you're simply crossing swords. This can be communication or air. You're fighting somebody, and you have a lot more power and resources out there than you're aware of. Financially, you have the right to bank accounts. You can ask for financial assistance through the social services or the welfare of your area. If you're getting started, especially if you're a single young child, kid on their own, or unmarried legally, I should say. um, there's a lot more power that you don't realize you have. You have a lot more rights and resources, but you might be kind of new to all this as you're very young. Hence the Page of Pentacles. And Pentacles commonly typically represent material wealth, like this briefcase. He's kind of cocky sitting there with this pentacle. And they're kind of just new to, but the Page of this Pentacles is kind of typically being new to things. Not the Page of Cups, but the Page of Pentacles, being used to managing your own material wealth in this world, because money is necessary. Money is not evil. Money is great. It's just people don't hate money; they hate the lack of money, but they commonly associate that with money. So that's your card. That's your card reading. Like I said, if it makes you feel better, I didn't know I had a lot of these rights growing up. I grew up in a very mentally and emotionally abusive background, and I was not taught how to really stand up for or how to manage my own life, my own pentacles, if you will. So if you're reading this earlier in life than when I was able to finally realize my power, I hope I have helped you. I don't want to give away too much of my personal information because it's a little embarrassing, but the truth is, they shouldn't be embarrassed. Trauma affects us all in many different ways. We're all hit very differently by it, and by the time we realize it, sometimes it's later than others. But depending on when it hits you, you might be in a better position simply because of your age and other life experience. My story is pretty unique, I think. I don't know anybody else that shares a similar story. Other people I've talked to, professionals I've talked to, found my story very absurd and obscure. So, and then there's again on the bottom of the deck, King of Wands. Had to move kind of forward myself with that process. And I assume as this channel goes on, you'll get to know me a bit more, especially as this channel, I would like to reach worldwide with this. Right now, this is probably just some close friends hearing this, and they probably already know these things about me. But don't be afraid to take initiative for yourself. It's scary at first, but in 2 years' time from when you start this journey, you'll look back and think, man, that was nothing. compared to everything. We went through then and what I'm doing now. Man, I'm doing so good. Man, I'm doing so much better. I wish you luck in taking initiative and bringing out your inner fire. Uh, you know, I think people commonly see dragons as bad things. That's unless you're a dragon yourself. So if you're a dragon, burn them. Burn your enemies to a crisp. Don't do that literally, just, you know what I'm saying. What did I just endorse? Thank you for watching. That's the end of this reading.